Hello and welcome to UCAS Street View. I'm Robbie James and today we're talking all about options. So what are the alternatives to university and what happens if you want to change your path or direction? Well, as we already know, I have no answers, but thankfully we have people that do. So let's get on with it. What are your thoughts on a gap year? What do you mean you're plastic? Sasspot. Joining us from the studio, we have a careers advisor, a student ambassador, and an admissions expert to answer all your questions. So Holly, I know you had a little bit of a sort of change in thoughts and ideas of your path. Just talk us through it a little bit.
So I have been a drama lover for years. From a young age, I always said to my mum, I'm going to become a midwife when I grow up. I feel like I'd get more out of becoming a midwife than I would going into musical theatre.
And that must be kind of scary, trying to weigh it all up.
Yeah, it was really, really difficult at the time. I just sat down, I did a pros and cons list. Sounds silly, but it worked. And I weighed it up and actually midwifery sort of won that argument. So
doesn't sound silly at all. So give some advice to people. Where would you advise them to go, seek help? What would you tell people to do?
Listen to your mum, listen to your dad, because they do know what they're talking about. And just listen to yourself as well, because eventually you'll tell yourself what you want to do and then you won't look back.
So like apprenticeships, where did you look? How did you kind of find out the information?
So I found my apprenticeship because I did volunteering for the same company, and therefore they offered me an option to do an apprenticeship there. Did try and look around for a few more, but I just didn't find any I like.
And what kind of thing were you looking for? Is it the practical element, or is it sort of the different way of working? What is it?
It is more the practical element, learning on the job, but I guess you've got the bonus that you're getting paid straight away. You don't have to go into debt or anything, and then just knowing that you've got like something straight away that you can just progress further on.
Would you advise people, even if they think that maybe uni's going to be their thing or they're going to do a gap year, would you advise them to take a look at apprenticeships anyway?
Yeah, I think it's always a good idea to just look at the apprenticeship side, to know that you have a backup or a few options, because you never know, you might not like university when you go there. So at least if you were to leave university, you know you've got something that you'd like and enjoy.
I've been looking at apprenticeships apart from the degree I want to do in the BBC, like production management, which would be really good. And I've looked at that, and the support that we have here, we know everyone, so it's not embarrassing if we need help or anything, which is really, really helpful. Yeah.
Would you agree, Tom? Just have a little look, see what's out there.
I think it's nice to look around and see what's best for you, because obviously uni's not the best for everyone. But once you get to the point where you know what you sort of like, I think it's easy to pick.
Explore the options. And Kieran, you're going to be doing a gap year. Talk us through how it's going to work. Are we travelling, we working, what we're doing?
So a bit of both, travelling and working hopefully. And then I will be using the year as well to go to multiple open days ready for the next year when I do go to uni.
What excites you about a gap year, Amy?
Just having some time to kind of do what you want to do rather than having school or something else to focus on. It's time to just think about what I want to do, earn some money, maybe just go travel, just do something that I can that will help me in the future, but also take time to think about what I actually want to do in the following years.
And what about apprenticeships, Chris? You know much about them?
Well, yeah, I think apprenticeships is a good idea because it gives you a new set of skills into the outside world. Really, it opens a lot more doors.
I know you're aware you can get a degree when you're doing an apprenticeship.
No, I didn't know that. No.
Let's look at that.
Not everybody knows about degree apprenticeships. I think that's a great place for us to start. The amazing news is that now you can do a degree apprenticeship in so many areas. So law, accountancy, architecture, there's loads and loads of different subjects that you can do degree apprenticeships within. And the qualification that you get is equivalent to the degree that you would get from university. So it's no lesser in terms of a qualification.
So for students who are looking at university, there's of course the obvious place to start their research at UCAS, but how about for those students who are thinking about apprenticeships or want to have an understanding of what degree apprenticeships are out there? Where can they look?
So it's not quite as straightforward, unfortunately. So everything to do with universities is on UCAS. You apply through UCAS, you have your hub on UCAS, everything is there in one place. With apprenticeships, there is loads of great information on UCAS, but it is worth looking on other websites as well. So using the internet to search if you're looking for a particular area, law apprenticeships, whatever it might be. The main difference is that not all employers have to use one application process like universities do, which means it's up to the employers where they advertise, and therefore it's a bit of a bigger job to find information.
And can you apply for degree apprenticeships and university courses at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely. And most students do. Because apprenticeships are quite hard to find, you have to go through quite a rigorous application process, interview process. They're very competitive these days. It means that having a backup plan of going to university, even if an apprenticeship is your first choice, is a really wise thing to do.
So a lot of students in that video talked about taking a gap year, and that's something that I always wanted to do, but didn't think I should because I thought universities would look down on that. Rena, is that true, or?
I think there is sometimes a pressure for students to continue that education journey straight from sixth form or college through to university, but gap years are a really fantastic option if you do need to take that kind of academic pressure off. You want a year to consider the courses, and actually universities don't look down on them. They offer the option to defer your place, so you can keep your university place while you're taking that gap year, be it to travel or to work. Sometimes for some courses, they might ask you to explain why you want a gap year. That's very rare. Most universities will accept that you want to take a gap year and allow you to defer your place.
So you covered like lots of different opportunities that you can do and take on your gap year. Jess, is there anything like in particular that you could do that would help your career or anything like that in the future on your gap year?
Yeah, absolutely. So I meet with a lot of students that want to take gap years, and usually they want to travel, and travel is a great thing to do on your gap year. To be honest, anything that is going to develop your skills in some way, shape or form is a good idea on a gap year. So that could be traveling, so you learn about new cultures, new languages, all that sort of thing. It could be going into the workplace, trying it out for a year, making sure it's right for you before you commit to doing a degree or an apprenticeship in that area. And it can also be things like volunteering and stuff like that as well. You don't have to go halfway across the world, you can stay locally, but as long as you are developing something or learning something that's going to help you make a future choice, it's a good idea for a gap year.
You always wanted to study Buddhism in university, then I did a complete 180 and then decided to change your mind and study geography instead. Do you think it is okay to change your mind?
Absolutely, and we have students change their mind every year, all the time, at all different points. And I think the really important thing to say is that you shouldn't be embarrassed by that. If you've changed your mind, no one's expecting you to have your whole life worked out. So just speak to someone, whether that's a teacher, careers advisor, head of year, parent, whoever it might be. Share what you're feeling, the reasons why, and there is absolutely no shame in changing your mind.
As we saw in the video, there was that student who did her pros and cons list to work out which subject works for her. And that's a fantastic way to get a sense of what can you see yourself doing, and knowing that there is some flexibility around what you're interested in. And of course, on the UCAS application, you can decline your place as well. You can do quite a few different things with that. So it can be to be changing your mind, going into clearing, or looking at that apprenticeship route instead. So it isn't just a decline your place and not doing anything with it. It's having that option to change your mind into a different pathway.
So it never really is too late to change your mind then?
No, it's never too late.
And it can be any point throughout that process. So even on results day, you might be thinking of a different route or a different pathway, or even slightly later after results day in that later clearer period of September as well.
If people are thinking of changing their mind, all they really need to do is communicate that choice. Speak to your careers advisor at school and just ask them for their advice. Don't go straight onto UCAS, press the button, cancel your place and change everything straight away. Seek advice. It's definitely the best thing to do.
Yeah, and I think from a university perspective as well, those admissions teams or staff who are on those clearing phone lines are happy to talk students through their options, what courses are available, whether deferring their place is an option for them, and having an understanding of what's available in that clearing process. They're there to ensure that they make the best and informed decision for them as well.
Yeah, so schools and universities, everyone is on the student side. We all want them to do well, right?
So whatever it is you want to do next, hopefully we've helped answer some of those burning questions that you might have. And don't forget, we get it that things change. So if you're thinking about changing your path or direction, please do reach out. Head over to ucas.com. It is literally what we're here for.